Hey drummers, it's Rob Litton here from drumstheword.com. Welcome to this free mini song lesson. Today I'm going to show you the main parts from the song Dance with the Devil by Cozy Powell, drummed of course by Cozy Powell himself. This song was suggested over on my Facebook page, and so if you want to make your own song suggestions, then please go over there to do so. You'll find a link to my Facebook page beneath this video. And what I've got for you, like I said at the beginning, is just the main parts of this song. There are really only 3 or 4 sections that you've got to be able to learn to be able to play this whole song. There are some improvised drum fills going on some way through the songs, but this is the main grooves, the main parts, the intro as well. And you can download this free PDF from my website. You can have this printed out in front of you as we go through this together. There's a link for this sheet to my website beneath this video. So have that printed out in front of you as we go through this. So I've written at the top here, first section, we got the intro. Cozy comes in, and I've written here, note overlayering of drums was definitely used on this recording. The first example starts slow, but then gradually builds up to meet the tempo of the song. So the first part, the first sentence, is that there are definitely overdubs of drums in this song. There are multiple toms being played. There's a section right at the end of this lesson I'll go over that occurs 55 seconds. That is a combination of snare drum and toms being doubled up. So it's a case of what would you play live, and luckily Cozy's got some great videos of him performing live as well, and he varies these drum beats a little bit. He doesn't play them the same way every time, so it gives you a lot of scope to sort of improvise with these beats, these grooves. And like I said, on a recording, because it was multiple drums being recorded at the same time, it's impossible to play exactly what you're hearing on a recording. But for the pitch of the toms, for the notes, also watching Cozy play it a few times live, I can see that he used this pattern a few times, even though he improvises with it. So we'll get on to the main drum beat in a second. The intro, like I said, starts slowly and then gradually builds up to meet the tempo of the song. So the tempo is 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to get to that tempo eventually, but it starts off with just the 4 toms. And I've written this lesson for 4 toms. We'll talk about perhaps how you can take the main groove and play it just between 3 toms or even 2 toms. But for 4 toms, this is what Cozy played on the recording, certainly what he plays live as well. Starts off with 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Simple as that, just down the toms with the bass drum in between. Then he goes back up and he plays flams. Exactly the same thing, but just flams. He then plays that flam version 4 times, again gradually building up in volume before we get to the end of this section, where he goes into 16th note triplets, but at the tempo of the song. So he reaches 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and that's the tempo of the song. So once he reaches that speed, he then goes back up to the high tom and he plays groups of 6 on each tom. Now, this is really hard to play if you're not used to playing fast single strokes. So that actually might be the hardest part of the song for you, playing these 4 16 note triplets up to speed. That's the tempo he's playing it at. So slowly it builds up. Last time. And then we're into our first groove. So before I go on to the main part, the main drum beat, let's hear just that section played up to speed without the microphone on so you can hear just the drums. So now we come on to the main meat of the song, the actual main drum beat. And like I said at the beginning of this lesson, this is my interpretation. I can't be 100% sure how Cozy recorded this because multiple drums were used, but I do see Cozy use this orchestration, and it certainly sounds like the recording to me. The pitch of the drums sound correct. So what I've got for you is the 4-tom setup as Cozy uses it live, and I'm pretty sure that's how we recorded it live. We'll perhaps talk about how we can shrink it down to 2, 3 toms in a second, but let's take a look at the actual pattern first. I think he's playing between the lowest tom and the second lowest tom to start off with, and he's accenting the right hand. 1 E and a 2. We're going to leave out the bass drum on beats 1, 2, 3 and 4. That's all the bass drum's doing. 1, 2 through this section. It's just pumping quarter notes. So the left hand you can see is playing little tap notes. They're written on the chart as little bracketed notes. They're quiet notes. 1 E and a 2. You could leave out those ghost notes and just play the main accent notes, but I find that if you include them, it helps to maintain the flow because you're not breaking up the single strokes. It's just right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left all the way through this. So we get 1 E and a 2 E, and I play the E there on that tom still. Then my right hand moves to that tom and my left hand to this other tom because Cozy moves between these two toms with his left hand and these two toms with his right hand. So we then move up a set of toms, and now the floor tom is ghosted and the left hand is the accent. So we're playing accented notes on the upbeats and 3 E and So the accents have moved over to the upbeat of the bar and 3 E and and then he just simply ends it with 4 E and So we get 4 E and accented on the last high tom 4 E, and then those four notes are accented evenly 4 E and So it's kind of hard to break it up like that. You sort of get the flow going eventually and then it sort of sinks into muscle memory. But let's play it slowly. 1 and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and So when you're playing it slow like that, you've got to take time with it to work out what your hand. You see my right hand made a mistake there. I moved to a tom differently than I should have. So I sort of play it slowly, get into muscle memory, and then you can speed up the thing. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 and 2 3 E and 4 E and 1 and 2 3 E and 4 E and That's the pitches I'm hearing on the recording. Next step is just to simply add in the bass drum on quarter notes. Hopefully you won't find that too tricky. So if you've only got two toms, then you're going to have to use some common sense. If I was hearing excuse me, I might play something like that just on two toms. It's the accents that are the most important thing. I played exactly the same rhythm there. It's just I played it between two toms and not four. And you may not have heard the difference really. I'm really focusing on the and not really worried about anything else in between, but here we go. In fact, let me just play it up to speed for you without the microphone on so you can hear just the drums. Before I do though, I just want to mention, going into this drum beat for the first time after that intro, I don't play and rush the left hand to the medium tom, and the first time I play it, I just play right, 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 and then my left hand sinks in to the groove. See, my left hand there came up to start playing when those accents came in on the high tom. Just means I don't have to rush, because it's impossible to play at that speed, to rush between two different toms after those fast 16th note triplets. Anyway, here's the main groove, up to speed. This next variation occurs at 30 seconds, very simple, exactly the same as our main groove, except we're just playing on the snare drum. And so the rest of the drums stay exactly the same as I'm hearing it. He just moves from that floor tom, when he was playing the accents at the beginning, to the snare drum instead. That's all he's done. So instead of playing, I'm playing. That's all it is. So you hear those snare drums performing on 1 and 2. And let's hear that up to speed. So then finally at 55 seconds for the first time we hear this, so I presume it's like, well, a chorus, I guess. And I've written here, the snare and toms were recorded separately. Here's my live interpretation. So this really is impossible to play for one drummer from what you're hearing on the recording, because the snare drum is just simply playing constant 16th notes underneath. And then the toms have been added over the top as well. So this is how you can sort of combine. You can see Cozy replicate this groove live as well, and this is what he does as well. So we start up on the high tom, or medium tom in this case. The tom in front of you I find is easiest. That's what Cozy does. And he plays 1 E and 2. So we've got some accents going on here. Right, left, quiet, left, right. You could leave out that quiet note in between and just play right, left, right if you wanted to. Sometimes I might accidentally miss the ghost note and do that. So the dynamics are really important here. 1 E and 2. And then I've written it so that you just stay up on the medium tom for the E of 2 as well, 2 E. And then you move down to the snare drum, and starting with a ghost note and a drag, and into 2 accents, and 3 E and 4. Same rhythm as we had up here, but on the snare drum. The rest of that beat 4, is just ghosted out. 4 E and then you come back up to the tom for the next bar, with the bass drum still pumping on quarter notes underneath. So slowly, 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and feel free to come down to the snare drum at whatever point you like after beat 2. You don't have to play the E there, you could play it here instead. It doesn't really matter. It's just a quiet note that sort of fills in the gaps. With the bass drum pumping underneath, 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and I sometimes do that accidentally. I come up to the high tom for the and the of 4. I play I play 4 E and I play those 2 anders on of beat 4 on the high tom, medium tom as ghost notes, and 1 E, so when it loops around, I play it that way. So I was just moving up to the high tom earlier than written, so, but on the recording you just hear the snare drum playing constantly. It's an interpretation thing, it's up to you. Anyway, let's hear that played up to speed without the mic on. Okay, so there you go. Hope you had fun. Hope that was useful for you. Don't forget to download the free PDF that came with this lesson. You'll find the link for it beneath this video. You'll be taken to my website. You can download it for free. And then you might also want to consider signing up to become an online member at my website, drumstheword.com. And what I currently offer for $97 is a full year's online access to every single full video song lesson I've ever recorded and transcribed. That's over 400 famous and popular songs on the website already now. Unlike this lesson where I just teach you the main parts, in my full video song lessons I teach you every single bar, every beat, fill and drum solo if included. You get the fully transcribed drum chart for each of the lessons, and like I said, I've got over 400 famous and popular songs up on the website already, including, if you're interested, a couple of Rainbow songs, because of course Cozy Powell played in Rainbow. Probably some other Cozy Powell stuff there on the website as well, buried deep in some of my older lessons. As a thank you for signing up, not only getting all those videos, I give you hundreds more mini lessons teaching you many, many famous drum beats, fills and even drum solos. I give you 3 ebooks I've written over the years containing hundreds more famous drum beats, fills and solos. And then over the year of your subscription, you also gain instant online access to all the new material that I upload for my members, and I record new lessons every week unless I'm ill or on holiday, so you've got lots of cool stuff to look forward to over the year of your subscription. And if you've got any of your own song suggestions, then please go over to my Facebook page. That's the best place to do so. I regularly ask my followers every couple of months or so for their song suggestions in a big post, and then they get to type them in the comments, and then others get to vote on them, and the most popular songs with the most votes usually get chosen for future lessons. But any questions about any of that, feel free to email me, rob@drumstheword.com. Until our next drum lesson together, toodle pip and happy drumming to you.